Hi everyone, my name is Tambra, and this is Tambra's Tales and Tips, a channel that I created to talk about anything and everything. So grab a coffee or a tea and get cozy with me. So today, I live in Michigan, so it's very dreary and cold today. So that tends to not lift your spirits, it tends to drop your spirits. You get just a little down and it's just kind of cold out there. But for me, I love it. I love it. I love the dreariness. I like to get in my leisure wear, and my fuzzy slippers and my fuzzy robe, and I just like to get cozy. And one of my hobbies is video games. So I like to play some video games for a little while, and it's just lovely. I love it. And it's just nice and warm. I keep the lights a little bit low, and it's just cozy for me. Um, I know I talked about in my previous video, I talked about seasonal depression. So that's a tip from me to you, that instead of getting down and depressed, I would recommend, just get cozy and get nice and warm. For some people, depression's not a choice. It's a chemical imbalance in our brains, and we can't help it. But for some of us, we do allow the weather to affect our mood, and so I would recommend, uh, you know, get yourself a candle warmer and light it up and create that nice warm glow. It warms your heart and it warms your soul. So, but today I wasn't going to give you any tips, but that was my tip. So, but also I got it's my turkey brooch. It keeps getting crooked. There we go. Got to be with the theme. So tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving is becoming uh, kind of a forgotten holiday, and it's a shame. It really is. I think people don't really celebrate it like they used to. And for me, when I was a kid, Thanksgiving was such a big deal. All the family members would get together, and we would, you know, have a big dinner, and there was that general excitement in the air of seeing everybody. And, like with the adults, they love to watch football. So, we'd have our dinner around noon, 1 o'clock, and then they would watch football, and us kids would go outside and play. And, of course, you got up early to watch the pre-show of the Thanksgiving Day parade. You didn't miss it. You never miss that parade ever. And I loved that. Sorry, there's a glare in my glasses, so I'll just take them off. Um, So I just loved watching that parade, seeing the floats and the big balloons way up in the air, and the performances and the singing. I loved it. And then the highlight was the end when Santa would show up. And you know what that meant? That meant that Christmas season was officially started. Not in October like it is today. No, back then, that was the official start of the Christmas shopping season. The holiday season was seeing Santa at the end of the parade. That was boom. That was it. That was the law of the land. That was it. And for us kids seeing Santa, that meant the countdown was on. Christmas was coming. Countdown was on, and we're gonna get presents from Santa, and it's gonna be great. But I loved Thanksgiving for a number of reasons. One was family, another was the food. The food was absolutely divine. I mean, just my grandma was a amazing cook. The stuff that she could make, and in fact, she has a recipe in one of the Betty Crocker cookbooks, and it was for her cookies. And I don't know which book it was, but she has one in there. My sister told me what kind of cookies, but I don't remember, but she does have a recipe in one of the cookbooks. But grandma was an amazing cook, and my aunts would and my mom would be in there helping, but most of it was grandma. And then later my sister would go in there and help as well. But I never did. I've never been much of a cook. Even today, my husband does most of the cooking. It's not something I enjoy. Can I do it? Yes, I do know how to cook. Do I like it? No, no, not really. No. So it's not my thing. And he doesn't mind. He doesn't mind doing the cooking. So I'm grateful for that. But um, how are you going to celebrate Thanksgiving? Or if at all, are you going to have family over? Is it just going to be you and your significant other? For us, it's just going to be me and my husband. My son is down in Oklahoma and he's on a work site. So I would imagine that he's going to have dinner with his coworkers and have a good time there. And then my daughter is with her husband's family in Indiana. So, yep, I'm an empty nester. And my husband and I are just going to have a very relaxing Thanksgiving. We got a small turkey I've got my cranberry sauce because believe it or not, I do not like turkey that much. I know. I just don't. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't really. I can tolerate it the first day, but when it's leftovers, it has this really strong aftertaste that I cannot stand. And so the only way I could stomach eating it is with cranberry sauce. So I always get my can of Ocean Spray cranberry sauce. And I did this. It's, it's a big gallon. No, it's this. And um, and I eat my turkey with that. And we uh, we usually don't make homemade pies. I'll go to Bush's and get a pie there or something like that. But it's just him and I, and that sounds sad, but it's not because I am probably going to put on my nice cozy leisure wear and we're going to have dinner and do our thing, and it's just going to be nice and relaxing. Days past, it was always so stressful having the whole family over and making all this food, and that's the thing. When you're a kid, you don't realize how stressful the holiday season is for your families, for the adults, because they have to spend the money for the food and plan it all and do all the stuff behind the scenes that we didn't even think about. All we did was watch a parade and eat the food. So, but every year I would always compete with my brother on how many servings, platefuls that we would get. And that boy, he would win hands down every year. He'd get seriously packed into food. I was always so jealous. I wish I could do that, but nope, he did. And we would leave the food out. We'd cover it up, but we'd leave it out, and we would graze on it. We'd grab a roll here, grab some veggies there. And when I say veggies, up in the north, um, they do green bean casserole. I don't know if that's a southern thing. Is that a southern thing? Did you guys in the South, did you do green bean casserole? I'd never heard of it until I moved up to the Ohio, Michigan era, area. And I never had it before, and it's okay. I prefer the southern style green beans with bacon in it or ham. I prefer it that way. And there'd be fried okra, and we'd have yams with marshmallows on top, baked yams with marshmallows on top. And we'd have our turkey and our stuffing, homemade stuffing, mind you, and mashed potatoes, of course, gravy. I'm not much of a gravy person. I don't really like gravy. I know, I'm a weirdo, but I don't really like gravy that much. But I really just enjoyed just that feeling of excitement of everyone getting together, and for all of us sitting down to a meal. And then afterwards, we would, the kids would go outside and play, and the women would clean up, and then afterwards, all the adults would sit down and watch football, and us kids would be out terrorizing the neighborhood with all the other kids in the neighborhood because they were all kicked out too. Get out, you know. And but we didn't care, because we're having a blast. And you know, Thanksgiving, late November in Missouri was still relatively warm. It would be around between 55 to 65 degrees. When you're a little kid running around, that was perfect. It was perfect weather. And I just do, to this day, I have very fond memories of Thanksgiving. And I hope that you as well. And I hope that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I will be putting out another video on Friday, and I'll be talking about some tips for you. I'm kind of struggling with the topic, not because I don't have any, but because I have so many that I want to talk about. So I'm trying to narrow it down on which one I want to talk about first. Um, if you do like this content, please like and subscribe. If you hit the like button, it does improve the algorithm where I will be seen more. And then if you subscribe, then you'll be notified of any of my videos that I post. I do have another video. It's my first one, so please take a look at that one. And what are you thankful for? Did I put you on the spot? I remember when I was a kid, the adults would do that. They would be like, let's go around the table and say, what we're thankful for. And when you're a little kid, you don't really, I wasn't that eloquent. I could be like, I am thankful for my family and for the blessings. No, no, no. I was just like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I just want to eat and go outside and play. But as an adult, I'm more introspective. I think about those things, about my life in general, about my family, about my health, you know, and there's so many things I'm grateful for. And it's not just on Thanksgiving that I'm grateful that I live with a grateful heart. I try to do that every day. I try not to take the blessings that I have received for granted. My life is wonderful. I am very blessed, and I'm very uh, thankful for the things that I have received over the years. I've had to work for it. We all do, right? I've had to work for it. I've had to do some sacrifices, but it's been worth it because I have a wonderful husband that I love dearly, and my two children. I couldn't be more proud of them. They've grown to be such great individuals, and my home life is very safe and very secure, and I'm very fortunate, and I'm grateful for that. So I'm going to end this video here, and I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I will be thinking about all of you. And take care, be well, and hit the subscribe button if you did like this video. Thank you. Bye-bye.